Okay. And that's working. Okay, so then if I edit this, okay, good, and then do that. Wait, is that not a syntax error? Okay, there we go. Wait, what? Huh? Wait. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll have to try that. I think it's a kind of a non-standard error. It looks like it's missing the error type. Okay. Okay, let's switch to Linux. Let's not do Chrome. Let's do Firefox. Okay. I guess we need to start working on the stats. And probably a few of these. I'm also pretty sure this is like not the way to do that. Okay, let's do yeah, actually let me get that error message and let's see why it's busted. Yeah, we'll use node to kind of yeah, okay. So it was this one. Actually, and then I can just do this. So basically I'm missing this. Okay. Okay, so let's see which one of these. Let's see, we got 1 colon, 2, 3. So this is supposed to make it optional. Actually, I think I gotta get rid of those. Wait. Okay, let's just delete and it starts working. Okay, so there we go. Wow, that's really annoying. What does it match when we do that? Wait, so it's 1 colon, 2 colons, 3 colons, 4. 1 colon, 2 colon, 3 colon. Ah, so they have like a second regex. Okay, well, that's why I got 2 of these. Okay. All right. So that means that goes away. I don't remember why I did that. I think I misunderstand the role of question mark. So let's just do it that way. Yeah, so then... Oh, this gets real gnarly, because now that we have this sort of like off-brand error message from Go, we kind of have to change our match data. Because see, in this instance, this is just a message string, but in this one, it's an error type. That poses a very big problem. All right, so give me a second. Right, how can we fix this? Let's look in the regex. I mean, I don't want to have to use the really terrible... There's a way to label regex, but it's really bad. It's so hard to use. It's also not clear how that maps. Shit, that's kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, so we can name each of these like this. I suppose it's not too bad. Type is a keyword, right? We have to avoid that. That's kind of what we gotta do. And then I think the API is really weird. Because it doesn't return like a map. Let me go confirm that. Yeah, but I don't think you get... I think you can get the names. Okay, so let's look at... Yeah, because this is going to be a big problem. Yeah, let's put this back. First, let's break it like normal. Yeah. All right, we have to be able to process named regex. Darn, man. All right, I think I'm gonna change up the music. Let's see. Listen to this for like 3 days straight. It's good, but... Okay, so I just gotta look through the API to figure out how you get at named submatches. I don't even know if you can. Okay, so that's what they are. I'm surprised there's no, like, convert it to a map thing. Seems like that'd be a pretty basic operation. Okay, so we can get the names. Okay, man, this is gnarly. Okay, so what we gotta do. Oh, we can't really do that. You know what, let's do this real quick. Let's just do that. We have the matches. Yeah, just do that much. So what kind of info we get? So I'm thinking I should convert it to a struct. That'll make it easier to like store in a database and do stuff to it. Wait, but how does that even work? I'm pretty sure you can't share these regex engines. I just know that's going to be a problem. Oh well. Yeah, it's totally a problem. But anyways, okay. So we need to know... Actually, what we can do is this. So do some expression names. How does that even help? Yeah, because you need like the count of the sub-expressions. What a weird ass API. This is so weird. It's a map. You just return a map. What's with this making me index into it 3 different times? I say, Ron, give me a map. Done. I don't have to like reuse the things. It's all one shot. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, so we need the count of sub-expression names. Num sub-expressions. Oh my god. Call it sub-expression count, so it's here with the other sub-expression things. Oh my god, man. All right. So we need num sub-expressions. What is it? Okay, and then we're going to do... No, because this is going to be... Yeah, no, we got to do it this way. Okay, so we have to just loop through each one. Oh, that's so dumb. We have to get the name. The fuck? This API is dog shit. This is really terrible. Just return a map. What do people think they're doing? This is not going to give you better performance. There's no way in hell this is higher performance than a map. A baked, ready to go data structures inside Go is always going to outperform pointer function swizzling with indexes, right? It's so bizarre. So that's the name. No, I have to do matches I reg. Really? God, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, you have to get the names. You have to have the sub-expression index. You have to wait. If I get the sub-expression names, then I don't need the count. I don't need this. I just do the length of the sub-names. Alright, this is going on my Go Ponies list. I want to do this library of like convenient Go functions. One of them will be regex to fucking map. Just like makes a map. That should be in the library. I don't know why that's just so common, so simple. Yeah. Hey, Stabby, how you going? Remember in my comp sci boot camp, my instructor telling me, just use the standard library instead of trying to hand roll your own. Yeah, no, totally. This should just be in the standard library. not hand rolling shit. Range and sub-expression names. No, but then you need the name to get the index of where it is in the name. Right? Because you need to get the match that matches it. So if you have the list of sub-matches here, and then you have the names, you have to go through each name. You shouldn't have to do any of this. Also, this is probably going to fall apart because I'm pretty sure you can't share this across Go routines. Because in between here and here, another Go routine will run and probably rerun this. It'll be wrong. I'm only doing one Go routine right now, but if someone runs more than one process, this will easily fall apart. Okay, so we have the names because they need the name, right? Okay, and then I get the name for that. And then I go through each matches, I get the sub-expression index of that name, and that gives me the name of the match. Okay, so let's just do this. All right, I think that'll work. The index and the name will be in the same iteration of the loop. I don't think so. It looks like they plan on like letting it just move around. Oh, what am I doing? That. Oh, I have that mistake. Names. This is just not well designed. This is not how this should be at all. Not one single bit. This should be, give me a map. Done. That's it. Sub-exp name. Sub-exp. Okay. And then we have to do that. Okay. Hey, Zorkenheimer. I was actually checking out your stream a little bit. Thank you for the raid, sir. How you been doing? See if I can properly do a shout out. How's your game going? We're trying to get named regex matches, which is always a good time. Okay, this works. Okay, so then let's break it. And no. Thanks out of range, negative 1. What are you talking about? It gives me a list of names and then... God damn it. Oh, that's so fucking dumb. Let me guess, one of them is for like the match, so it's like an empty string or something, and then it doesn't give you an index for that. Yeah, totally. But it doesn't give you an index for that. So if you give it, so it gives you an empty string for the names, okay? But if you give it the empty string, it doesn't, oh my god, okay. It's so stupid. Okay, so what we need to do is continue there. Yeah, I'm gonna write a converter that just does this. Okay, so now we have the name, we have that, we get the matches. We should be able to do match. There we go. Doing good. How you been? Working on some reverse engineering tonight. Oh yeah. Okay. Empty string, my old friend. Yeah, it's weird. Here, use this function to find out what's in there. Oh, but not that. Like, okay. You know, actually, no, that's not how we should do it. We should do, we should say, no, we should do this. Man, this is gnarly. Gnarly. Okay, we should continue if it's -1, and then what gets returned from the function in the case of the empty string? A -1. So I'm going to assume -1 is probably safer. Like, you know, like if, maybe if I change this to where like I give it specific names, which is probably a better idea. Yeah, we'll have to write a converter function for sure. Okay, so what do we get? Yeah, so file. Yeah, file, line, column, error type. Syntax error. Okay, cool. Message. Okay, and then if I go up here and I get rid of this and save, we get file, line, column, and message. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we're doing that Golang. We're making a funny little game that watches you code and you take damage when you have compiler errors. It's a blast. It's going to be the next Factorio. Totally. Okay, so that's one way to do that. Got a couple options. We got to make a converter. I think what we need to do is, Let's cut this. Let's do error. Let's call airline and okay. And let's do parse airline. I can't think of a better name for that. We'll just call it that for now. And it's going to return something. Let's do ... until I get that written. Okay, we need the regular expression as well. Yeah. And second parameter. And that's going to be regexp. Regexp. And then we're going to make a type error info. Struct. Okay, we'll make file line. Let's go with string for now, but then we'll change it. Line error type and message. Okay, and then this will return error info. I guess parse error line should be parse error info. Yeah, okay, great. So now this changes because I have specific information. I should just map to each one. I mean, I could get ultra fancy and do reflection. Maybe that's what we do eventually. It just reflects on the results. Dredge up my old reflect code. But yeah, so in this case, I won't need subnames. Yeah, honestly, it's going to be like, info.file equals matches that. Yeah, let's make those match in the config. And then yeah, I could probably use reflect in like a future version. And it just fills in the struct based on what's in there. Okay, so the only thing that we'd be missing is error type, so we can do Oh, that's gnarly. Whenever I tell people like data munging, this is kind of data munging, right? Where you get some like really disgusting format. You gotta do this. There's like no elegant way to get crap out of a data. Matches to map. Let me see. For iname, I can kind of read it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I have specific ones, so... See, if I do reflect, then I can reflect on the struct and then try to match it to the names in the regex. Let's see for iname in... No, yeah, so the name is... The problem is the... Oh, I see, yeah. Result name equals match I is not really going to match up. Because some of them don't have names. They're just empty. The first one, it has nothing. And some of the other ones are just like, they're matching junk. So getting clean data. I'm just going to get nice clean data like this. But that involves kind of doing this crap. Guess we need to go line. Line call. Now that doesn't do any error checking, but so I could write a little function that effectively does this with everything. But I think if I dip into reflect, that'll be easier. It'll be kind of fun. Yeah, so just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do reflection on this, right? And then just go through the regex and basically do that for all the, you go to the type info and get the fields. And then you can also dip into doing that, doing the struct tags on it too. I'm surprised nobody wrote that. That seemed kind of weird. Wait a minute, hold on. There has to be. Hold on. There's gotta be. Gotta be. No, go known struct tags. You know what I'm saying? Like you just tag the struct and it knows how to put a regex into it. There's gotta be somebody who did that. Really? Shit, I could write that. Just okay. I'm telling you, I gotta do this library called Go Ponies. It just has like random stuff that is super useful, but isn't in the library anywhere. Okay, and that's good enough. Did that compile? It does not, okay. Undefined regex. I removed it. And we need it. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is error info. Oh, we have to do dual. What was my thinking on returning okay? Oh yeah, that's right, okay. Oh wait, how do we find... how does a failing match work again? If... Okay, we got to look at find substring match and see what the return value on that is. Find string sub match. Returns nil, right? Return a value of nil indicates no match, okay. If matches equals nil, return nil comma false. Oh, info comma false. Come up here, this will be Boolean There we go. Okay. And then this will be true. Okay. Find substring match for that. If it doesn't match, we do false. And then down here, we go if. Okay. That's a match. We then format print line. I guess it's error info. Yeah, let's just dump it. No. Let's do that so we can see it. Okay. In theory, that's what we want. Okay. Okay, that's right. Yeah, 64 syntax error. Yeah, okay, that worked. Okay, now let's make it a bit more robust. Because people will eventually be dealing with this. So here... we could do optional field, required field. Let's say parse error field. What do we need for that? We need the matches and this and the regex. Regular expression, regex. And it should return. Let's go with string, but eventually I think we got to convert that. Okay, now that's basically going to do this. Oh, we need the name. Okay, so we go name. The match is the regex. Name. And we just turn this to I. Oh, it needs to set it on the info as well. Okay, so we need a pointer to the info. Info pointer. Here, info. Oh no. No, we can't do this. No, we can't do that. I mean, I guess we could set no, because then we're gonna have like any type. All right. Nope. Cannot. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. All right, we'll clean that up later. Yeah, if we reuse reflect, it'll just work perfectly. But for now, we're gonna stop there because I think we could beat this horse until it's very dead. Yeah, the struct makes more sense, right? Because I need to store it in a database, right? I'm gonna have to put this in SQLite, save it to JSON files. Yeah, everything. It's just way better to do it that way. Reflect will let us kind of use the struct's type to drive what the regex needs to have. So that's what would be the next phase. We use reflect and we go and we just say, yeah, your regex is missing this, right? And then we're set. But I'm the only person using it now and it's like 4 hours old, so it's fine. I need to remember to undo those. Okay, cool. So now we have the errors, and now we should get kind of like more than one error. Okay. So let's try this error. Yeah, so now we have the struct, it has the file, lines. Okay, now we need to convert those to ints. That'll be the next thing. Okay, then try that error. And yep, there we go. Main go missing import path. So now we have the two flavors. Okay, cool. So now let's make these int and int. Why isn't that getting type info? What did I screw up? Oh yeah. Okay, that's why. Okay, so now, the format. I gotta go look this up. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's right. You have to. Does anyone else feel the irony of Google, the greatest search company ever, having like a really terrible documentation search? You can't search for specific functions and stuff. It should be. Is it printf or scanf? No, it's not scanf. Shit. Strings actually. Completely forgot where my stuff is. Okay, so strings, trim to lower reader. My God, I cannot remember shit. Go convert string. I is a professional. SDRconf. Okay. Now I remember. Okay, let me go see. Just ATOI is fine, right? This just tells you if it's good or bad. ATOI, I think, will give you like a 0. I'm trying to think what I should do. Keep it simple and let's drop a bug. Okay, let's do yeah, so that'll get it working. Did I end up uploading anything about the FFmpeg map? No, not yet, no. That's gonna be a little bit later. Because I kind of want to talk about how ATOI returns 2 values. Oh, okay. About how a lot of these large open source projects kind of take advantage of people. Oh, that gives you an error too. Okay, never mind. Well, why is there parsing then? Let's get rid of that. No, let's leave that bug. Error. Now, I think what I want to do, let's do this. It shouldn't be like a program crashing bug. So if error doesn't equal nil, log dot print. We'll just be bad and ignore it. It's good enough. Hey, Hextick, I'm working on kind of a weird game for programming. Basically, it watches me code, and then if I make any, if the compiler has any errors, I take damage. So like I have hit points. And when hit points go to 0, I die. So then I have to start over. So what I would do is, so let's say I keep making mistakes, right? And the tool is running my build when I save. Okay, so then, see how I have like this work here? So what I have to do is git checkout dot and try again. So it doesn't delete everything I've written, but it does delete just that, but just whatever I was working on. Okay, does that build? You died in minutes. Yeah, so me too, right? I rely on the compiler a lot, but when you run this, you have to like be careful, okay? Because every time you save, it runs your build and injects it. So the side thing that I really want is, it's a fun game, but what I want is collect statistics on like, which languages do I make the most mistakes in? When do I make the most mistakes? You know, things like that, right? I did that years ago, but I did it kind of more seriously, not as like a game. Okay, so make Make run here. Okay. Okay, and then this should convert. Yeah, that's nice. And so see how it runs, and then it says, here's your errors. So next we'll start calculating your statistics, and we'll print them out at the end. Yeah, so the idea is there's a strong correlation between the amount of like compiler errors you make while you're working on something and the possibility there's a bug in it. Because compiler errors kind of say like maybe you're tired, or you don't really understand the problem, or you're not very experienced with the language. And so in any instance where like you have a bunch of compiler errors, you should probably throw that code out and do a new one, right? So it's kind of giving you a reason to do that. The other big correlation is the size of a commit. So the bigger your commit or your pull request, the more likely there's a defect in it, which makes sense. The more changes you make, the more possible causes you have. Okay, we got that. Okay. I need to figure out where to put this thing. I need stats. For lack of a better place, let's just go into my settings. This kind of being used as like a global. I can't, I'm pretty sure I can't share these compiled regular expressions. I'm just so positive. So we'll just kind of avoid it. Also, I'm not sure why I'm doing this. Yeah, I might revisit this. I think this was kind of like one of my first things I was doing. Yeah, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. Okay, so let's do HP as an integer. And then let's do errors as an integer. And lines as an integer. All right, that'll give us a start. Okay? Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Golang is such a nice looking language. It is pretty nice, yeah. There's a few little things here and there that are kind of weird, but otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's not much you can complain about. Like error handling is the one people complain about, but I've thought about it a lot, and I can't think of any way to improve it. It's sort of like, I think it's just like, yeah, it sucks, but errors suck. There's like no way I can think of making it better. I think FFmpeg's X-President is probably the worst of the lot, but the actual project and people behind it are solid. Codebase aside. yeah, right? Yeah, no. I think I ran into Mr. FFmpeg X. I don't know if it's like, it seems like it's somebody who's not actually one of the programmers, mostly a hangers-on, but hey, if you let that person present who you are, then yeah, you are. And yeah, the code base is gnarly. Documentation is bad. The dumb thing about their documentation is it could be good, but they just like organize it wrong. They just have a bad build tool. Like they just have to put the things in the right place and cut it up more, and it'd be better. Okay, so we're doing this. We got that. Okay, so now launch processes. Where's run build? Here we go. Now this is the tricky part. How should launch processes work? Yeah, it's a little convoluted because of the way that you have to do. Yeah, so see this launch logger? I might have to switch to using a an interface on this. Or methods. Shit, what's it called? You put methods on a struct. That might be the better approach. I'll get this working tonight, and then we'll refactor it tomorrow. Okay, so then if we have an error. Now, why do I have multiple lines? Actually, yeah, let me do config settings. And, Yeah, because the errors in the lines currently will match. So one of the things that I figured out I had to do was, because of C++, like you breathe wrong on a C++ file and you get 40,000 error messages. It's like crazy. C++ is on a whole other level of... Go is on one end. I think people playing this game with Go, they'll never die. And then people playing on C++ die all the time. So what I did is I had to make it so that an error only counted once per line. Because C++ will do like 10 lines, 10 errors on each line. Okay, so now... Okay, so we're going to boost that, minus that. But we also need to do config settings. Okay, it's kind of a... We're going to switch this up so it's like a database. But we're going to go here. Okay, compile that. I think people run the X profile, not just one person. Yeah, whoever's running it, just, yeah. They don't know how to be diplomatic. Yeah, I'm going to capitalize that. There's no reason for that to be private to this module. Okay, so now let's do that and see the errors. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we have like some kind of basic stuff. Now what we'll have to do is I'll have to pull this out. Yeah, we'll have to make like, there's just methods on like a struct and it does this. This is kind of quick and dirty scripting style. This is if a bash programmer, which I'm not, so that's even worse, wrote Go code. It's kind of true. How would a bash? You could probably do this in like 20 lines of bash. Some of the most cursed bash ever. Okay, so we do that process, waiting for. Okay, so now let's do this. I keep wanting to type like a little bit of ASCII art. There we go. I've only worked with precompiled languages, and I'm dreading to learn C. Why? C's not too hard. It forces you to deal with the memory. And then that's the thing that... All I gotta say is when you code in C, just religiously run valgrind. Valgrind all the time, constantly. Because C gives you no help. And then if you're using like a compiler that's got it, because Windows doesn't have it with Clang and GCC. I don't know why. You turn on the UB-san and the address sanitizer, turn those on. But Valgrind is like the king. If you can get your stuff to run under Valgrind, it'll help you so much. Okay, so now if I do this. Yeah, we took some damage. Okay. So you see the 4 error messages. Nice. We have HP. Oh, I need to do a new line here. Yeah, see how quick you can die? I was already at 88. Oh, and that shouldn't be a tab. Hold on. There we go. I'm not going to obsess over the ASCII art. Okay, so you save, it runs a build, you take damage. Then it works. Then you do this, take some more damage. Nice. There we go. Let me see. My favorite overall language? I kind of don't really like any of them, to be honest. I feel like we're in an era of programming where programming languages are more like big companies and politics than it is actually making something useful, right? And I think that's slowly changing. I think a lot of the newer languages are more useful than politics, but the problem is they have to exist in an environment where everything is sold with like these weird propaganda, us versus them, kind of like political marketing schemes. Instead of just like showing what the language could do, it's all about, you know, rise up with Haskell and fight the people who don't know types, you know, that kind of bullshit. And so that's how you have to sell a language, you know, and like, we won't get out of that until I guess all those programmers die off. Then people can be like, well, I mean, does it work, you know, and get more rational about it. So part of doing something like this is to sort of like kind of get my own statistics on, you know, hey, what languages cause me the most pain? What languages seem to be the easiest? Okay, so that's mostly working. Let's do one more. Oh, I should make the HP configurable. Yeah, what am I doing? Config, settings. And I should probably keep the original line. Yeah, so that gets rid of that. That makes so I can do that. Yeah, we'll get a test so we can make sure we die. No consequences currently. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, you can think of it as like an augmented reality game. Something else I was about to do. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I can't do that. We have to do config settings. We need a different setting. This is max HP. This is HP. Because after you die, it has to start over. Max HP or starting HP? Because I kind of want, yeah, let's do starting HP. I kind of want to have like, you can like, you know, like the games where you can pick like a power up of some kind, you know, like give yourself more HP or more time. There's also a timer aspect, so you have to do it within a certain amount of time. Yeah, so then that's what I want. Okay, so then it resets. Okay. Let's see what we got. What gets devs to hate each other, other languages, when we already hate ourselves? Exactly, right? I don't know. I don't know. There's some weird thing about programmer culture. I don't know, I don't think it's just programmers. I think you give anyone someone to hate and they'll do anything you want. It's just I think people don't expect that from programming. They think of programming as like super rational. It's totally not. Okay, so now if I do that, I only have like 10 hit points. I died. Awesome. Wait, I died that quick? Oh, I have to set the HP to start. Actually, now it should work. Now it should be set to 10. Yeah, okay. Yes, okay. Rust Bros, Rustation, Arch Linux Bros. I mean, wider society in general. I think it's like probably been a human thing for like thousands of years, right? I think what amazes me is like people don't realize it. They just fall for it all the time. Like all the time. You have 2 HP. 4 HP. Alright, this is kind of the basis of the whole thing. Let's do that. 2 HP. It should be less than or equal to 0. Yeah. And you died. Yay, and then you start over. Okay, cool. So that's actually enough to kind of play it. Okay, so... yeah, the next thing I would have to do is pull out... yeah, this is going to be better if it's like there's a single struct and you have functions on it. I could keep the state for the HP and all that stuff. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, okay. So I also have to do a short session again tonight. Yeah, short sessions this day because I have a whole bunch of stuff I gotta do. So let me find you all somebody to raid. And that code is up if you want to try it out. Not much to it so far, but I think the next thing I want to do is, yeah, either we're going to go Ep03, fine, or some kind of TUI, maybe bubble tea, something like that. Yeah, maybe something like this. We'll see. We'll have to see. It gives sort of like a game interface. I feel like TUI is kind of more programmer, but I know how to use the Ep03. I can probably figure out fine. Not so sure about bubble tea. It's pretty complex.